Good morning, everyone. Today is August the 29th. It is the second to last trading day of the month. Start with the YM because it looks so very healthy. Deep fades, buy zones. Came into this area from 41,048 down to 40,800. So that range, it cut it almost in half with the fade from 40,924. And this morning in the pre-market, it is running off the rails. Everybody is in dip buying mode. And we can see it across all of the indices. So the question now is, are we going to break the formation and head out to new highs? Now, if you listen to somebody like J.C. Peretz, he talks about, market breadth. It's very wide. Nothing looks like it's going to break down. And I tend to agree. So dips are still buy zones. The question is, what happens at the top? And what we've noticed is 1, 2, 3 days, the last 3 days, the tops have had pretty solid wicks. And so we're going to anticipate that this is also going to present us with a solid wick. But if we close the day over 41,350, we might be moving back to the upside again, particularly here in the Dow. As you know, the fade off the dollar, if you've been listening to me, the fade off the dollar brings foreign divestment into the U.S. market. The biggest area they go is the Dow, and we can see the Dow futures rising along with that. All right, let's go to the ES. What do we have looking at here today? Whoops, you know what I didn't do? Set up the trading formations. Sorry. Here we go with the YM. What do we want to do today? Well, as I mentioned, dips are buy zones. This is yesterday's formation. Let's go to today's. Very big opening range because of the NVDA non-event. I found that to be very interesting, but I did have sort of gut feeling that that was going to be a non-event. I'm very glad that we kept the short action. We'll see how much we can collect from that, unless it just starts rallying again, and then we'll have our long butterfly. All right, so what are we doing? If we take a look at the YM, it is clearly in buy the dip mode. Value area high gives us that buy the dip. It's also the 2 Fibonacci extension, which is 41,392. It's also heavy congestion over the last 3 candlesticks. That would be the first place to look for a buy. There are people trying to sell this as a double top. No doubt about it. Okay, so is it an early double top? You betcha. Why? Because this formation has not shown any kind of reversal action. We've got to have a failure to close higher. That means above this high. Then we have to break support, which is all the way down here of 41,350-ish. And then we have to bounce and make a lower high. That's what's going to give us the proper formation. Right now, if you short, that's a scalping event into the value area high, which would take you out of the trade because trend is so strong. But anything can happen. So just be careful there. All right, let's do SPY. SPY for the 1-hour candlesticks. We know we've got ourselves a formation that is literally just a slog. Look at that. That is a terrible looking chart. It's very sideways, and it really is what I think the market's going to be doing over the next few months, just with volatile swings. Way up, everybody thinks we're coming to the edge. Way down, everybody thinks the sky's falling. Okay, so this is what we're doing. Lots of cross current, fighting with the VWAP right here. I would say in this particular formation, You know, if it holds the value area low, you could have a long, but at 558, but the risk is all the way down to 557. Let's take a look at the daily. We can see the topping formation. This still looks toppy to me. Not like the YM at all. We're underneath the hull. We've got a series of lower highs. We tested a lower low, but this is a mosh pit. And so the bounce action could easily take us back to value area high, which is 562. My thought is consider the blow off top before a short, or wait for a formation that says failure to hold higher, breaks support, bounces back, and does not hold a higher high. And that's what we're waiting for right here, right? Failure to hold higher, break support. Now it's bouncing. We'll see what happens on the upshot here. But the traders are climbing the wall of worry, so getting short right in this noise is something that's going to expand risk. I would say wait for the value area high to do that. All right, let's take a look at the ES. Okay, ES also looking a lot like SPY, looking nothing like the Dow. We've got a clear lower high formation, same sort of thing, bounces high, fails to close higher, tests support 2 days later, bounces. This is going to be the zone that's do or die. If we break up above this 56, 54-ish area, you know, we could have ourselves right back a rally 56.76 into the value area high of 56.96, and you know, we could even test on a double top. Do I think what's going on inside of the economy deserves that? No, but the market's not the economy. We know that. So don't trade what you think is happening to the world or whatever. Just trade what you see. And what we are seeing is a bullish formation that's coming back and potentially creating a bull flag. All right, so we have to be careful with that. Let's go to the Qs. As I mentioned, NVDA did not save the world. And a lot of times when you have that much hype going into something, market makers have a wonderful time just spiking option volatility and then just nothing but crush. And so we had a deep fade into the area VWAP. That's this whole area. This area VWAP, and bounced hard off of the edge. Notice the formation. It is a flag. So there is a likelihood that we rise all the way back into 19,785. Here's how you look at it this morning. First line in the sand of resistance is right here at about 19,450. 465. We should see some sellers, right? If we don't, and it spikes up and climbs this wall of worry, the candlestick before, then we wait for the higher pullback and we go long. So if John Hoagland were looking at this, he would say we were within value and within range. And so that says wait for the opportunities to show themselves by either a failed upside auction, that's a look above and fail, and then a look below, that's my daughter's dog playing with a chew toy behind me, and look below and fail to give us the failed auction to the downside, right? And those can happen on tiny time frames. Use what you will, but that is what we are looking for. My thought is that the highs are in for the NQ because we are in the midst of a big sector rotation, but we'll see what goes on there. All right. Bounces are sell zones, but that bounce could be 300 points higher than the areas we've been looking at, right? And then the fades can be buy zones, and that, we could come in and break 19,000 today. Anything goes, friends. It is a two-way tape with a general slant to the downside because we're building a bull flag on this area that could collapse and give us lower prices. All right, let's take a look at the Qs. Same sort of thing. Wow, came in right to our 465 level. That's that midline. Traders love that. And look at this bounce. Insane. Now this candlestick is so big. 465 on the low end thereabouts and the high 477. So 12 points wide. It could be that we have an inside candlestick. Notice. Outside candlestick, inside candlestick. Outside candlestick, doji. Outside candlestick, inside candlestick. So watch this one to be range bound, right? Because the Qs are in a space where they're suffering from a little bit of sector rotation. All right, we did the YM, we did the ES, we did the Qs, we did the SPY, did everything out of order, but maybe that's so that you'll sit with me and watch. Yeah, do we need to look at oil? Commodities are going to be very interesting. Listen, if you have Serious Business Radio, I am going to be on with the Wharton School of Business Business Radio, and would love to have you join. Just Serious Business Radio, the channel I'll be on a little bit after 9. Okay, what is oil doing? It's in a little bit of a slide, but as you know, we do not want any prices over 80, no matter what party you're in, right? No matter what party you're in. So I believe that prices are being compressed. That being said, this is starting to look a lot like a flag that could potentially break to the north. And so we really want to watch that, and that line in the sand is 80. All right, that's it for me, folks. I'll see you on the streams.